welcome Sandee Reid, Executive Vice President of Corporate Communications and Strategic Planning for the Davey Tree Expert Company. Sandee is a leader who brings a truly remarkable combination of experience in the business and the community arenas. After growing up in Kent, Ohio, attending Theodore Roosevelt High School and working summers at the former Oak Hill Golf Course, Sandee went on to earn a bachelor's degree in marketing and public relations from Ohio Northern University. Immediately after graduation, Sandee joined Davey Tree. And now, 39 plus years of continuous service later, she is one of the company's top leaders. In her role, Sandee leads dedicated teams of people who are focused on strengthening Davey Tree's organizational brand, employee engagement, community leadership, industry contributions, and so much more. She brings a strategic approach to building meaningful connections and driving positive change, both inside Davey Tree and also across the civic arena. She serves on many boards, including the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, Ohio Northern University, her alma mater, the Portage Development Board, and as of last month, the Cleveland Leadership Center Board of Trustees. She's also a very proud graduate of the Leadership Cleveland class of 2025, the dopest class ever. Sandee, thank you for stepping into the leadership spotlight today and for joining us at our lunch break.
Thank you, Becky, for that warm introduction. It's great to be here with everyone. As we say at Davey, it's a tremendous day today in Northeast Ohio. Beautiful sunshine, and we're going to talk a little bit about trees, Davey, and also community involvement. Becky talked about me. You know, the main thing that I think I'd like you to know, in addition to what she shared, is my first job was actually as a tree. And the environmental play, The Wump World, which took place at Franklin Elementary School, which is now on the site of the future Arboretum for our seed campus. And we'll share a little bit about our seed campus project with those of you who aren't familiar with it a little bit later. But 39 years later, I am here still with the Davey Company and continuing every day to learn, grow, and share. And I feel very blessed for the opportunities I've had here at Davey and the teammates that I work with every day, both on the Davey side and our community partners. So a little bit about Davey. So Davey was founded in 1880 by John Davey. John Davey is known as the father of the science of tree surgery. One of his early crews is in the top photo of the top left. John emigrated from England. He was the sexton at Standing Rock Cemetery, which is about a mile from our corporate office. And he was writing and lecturing about trees, and the rest is history. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But within our roots, certainly there's that commitment from John Davey and the tree doctor. Also the early Davey Technical Services Center and the focus on research, employee development, and training. We acquired an organization called Wetland Studies and Solutions, and they're based in Virginia, and they had the first LEED Gold certified building in Virginia, and that was something that we've always aspired to be able to have a LEED building within our organization, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And the bottom left-hand photo, that's a photo of our laboratory, one of our laboratories now at our seed campus. So we continue to do ongoing diagnostics and research on tree methods. And then, you know, I think what's very important to us is that we want to grow stronger communities where we live and work and play through stewardship, innovation, and collaboration. So the Davey Company right now is 145 years old. We've been employee-owned since for 45 of those years. In 1979, the employees purchased the company. We're proud to be one of the top 10 employee-owned companies in the United States. And we have branches, even though we're rooted here in Northeast Ohio, we have branches throughout North America. And so that's something that we're very proud of. It's a fun fact that a lot of people aren't aware of. We actually have more employees and clients in other areas of the country than our home base here in Northeast Ohio. So Becky, can we advance one? So again, our legacy for stewardship and our company history, we talked about that focus on that science-based tree care. Our Davey Institute team continues to support our field operations through through technical support, through research and development, through employee education, continues to work to advance arboriculture and environmental research. We have projects in urban canopy studies, green infrastructure, tree health management, All those things are things that we're very involved with. But one of the things that we're really focused around within the last 5 to 7 years is branching out in more collaborations and partnerships. So those of you who are based in the Cleveland area might be familiar with our Score for the Trees program with the Guardians, where for our Swing for the Trees program with the Guardians. For every time a Guardians player hits a home run, we pledge to plant a tree in Northeast Ohio. In Pittsburgh, we score for the trees with the Penguins, where for every goal the Penguins score, we work with Tree Pittsburgh to plant a tree within the Pittsburgh area. In Detroit this year, we introduced triples for trees for every triple by a Tigers player, much to my chagrin, being a diehard Guardians fan, but we do operate in Detroit, and it's good for the Detroit canopy cover as well. But for every triple, we pledge to plant 3 trees in the Detroit community. And then with the colleague senior PGA, for every birdie on the signature 16th hole, we plant a tree. And then our original program, Score Threes for Trees with the Cleveland Cavaliers, for every 3-point shot for the Cavs, we plant a tree in Northeast Ohio. So over the past 5 years, we've planted or pledged to plant 5,300 trees within Northeast Ohio. And that's something that we're certainly proud of. We also work with a number of organizations in Northeast Ohio that are rooted within, just like us, focused around a mission around trees and preserving green infrastructure. I see a lot of you on the call today, so thank you for being here. But so we've got collaborations with communities around urban reforestation projects, schoolyard tree planting projects, and educational programs. We have collaborations with local universities and research institutes, all focused around making our communities stronger. One of the things that we emphasize is innovation through teamwork. So together we're stronger. And so we don't try to go it alone. We want to do things together. We love our community partners also to work together to bring science and community and sustainability together. One of the areas where we're doing this is in our seed campus. This is my teaser. We're going to talk about the seed campus a little bit more. I see Chad on here, so thank you, Chad, for being here. But again, I think both from the client side and on the community side, we're very focused around trying to make that impact. One of the signature ways we do that is through our Davey Green Leaders program, and that's our employee volunteer program. Some of the photos that are on this slide are from our employee volunteer programs. We've pledged 150,000 hours of community involvement to be our goal as part of our corporate responsibility. And we continue to work every day on accumulating those employee hours, whether it's in lecturing, whether it's in giving back through building a playground, or whether it is in a community event. But that's something that we think is, we know that our employees live and work in the communities where we operate, and being an employee-owned company, we want to make sure that we're always giving back. So we have volunteer days, we have employee engagements and neighborhood projects. We certainly support a number of nonprofit organizations focused around trees and the environment, environmental education, workforce development, and neighborhood projects. And some of our neighborhood projects have been focused around shade equity, stormwater management, and preserving public spaces. One of the things that I'm pretty focused on at Davey is focused around that regional growth. So how these green neighborhoods can help us both strengthen health, equity, and resilience in our community. And so that's one of the things that we think is the Davey difference. So Becky, you want to take me one forward? So again, I think some of the things that we're looking at is always, back to John Davey and his original focus around research, writing, lecturing, talking about trees. That's what he was doing before we were providing services. So from 1880 to 1909, the company was incorporated in 1909, but from 1880 onward, it was really focused around building that science of tree surgery and cultivating an interest and appreciation for trees way back then. And that's one of the things that we still talk about. So from a science side, and one of the things that we look at on the community partnership side, some of you are probably familiar with iTree. If not, I'd recommend you take a look at itreetools.org. Maybe Jen will put that in the chat for me. But iTree is a collaboration that was with the U.S. Forest Service, with the International Society of Arboriculture, with the Arbor Day Foundation, and others And it's one of the things that we're quite proud of. iTree is now used in 30+ countries. It's free, it's available, and it really is focused around calculating the benefits of trees. One of the other collaborations we're focused on right now is with an organization called Greehill. And Greehill does smart tree inventories. So essentially that's a digital tree inventory. It's AI focused around trees. And so we're doing a number of pilot projects throughout the US that are Greehill smart tree inventories, which enables us to take a look at the current canopy cover within a community and how how trees can be better managed and how that could be grown. So look for more on smart tree inventories. We also are always very concerned as part of our corporate responsibility about wood waste and making sure that we are recycling as many trees as unfortunately need to be taken down. So in many cases, we're either working with a third-party partner to use that wood waste for playgrounds. Sometimes we're looking to recycle or do live edge tables or furniture out of some of that wood product. And in other cases, we're looking at how we can recycle that for good. So in Chicago this past year, we built a biochar facility so that we could actually look at recycling that into a product that could be put back into the soil and help from a nutrient standpoint. So those are just some examples of some of the things that we've done on the corporate responsibility side. I'm going to call upon Jen again, please, if you would put in the chat for the group our corporate responsibility report link. I think that would give you more in-depth information around currently what we're doing, both from a corporate environmental responsibility, but also from a corporate social responsibility side. And one of the things that I'm most excited about right now is the former Oak Knolls Golf Course, which is now the home to our seed campus. Thank you again, Chad, for being here. So our design partner, Smith Group, actually helped us bring to life this vision of a former golf course that had been taken out of regular play, at least for the time being. And what could that look like in terms of visioning the company's future? And so the Davey company now is a little more diverse than maybe some of you realize, or maybe even yesterday's, maybe 39 years ago's Davey company. So, you know, we were focused and founded on tree care, certainly shrub care. And our main divisions are the residential commercial tree care, which is tree care for homeowners, commercial landscape services, which is basically mowing, landscape installment, landscape enhancements for commercial properties, anything from Arlington National Cemetery to a shopping mall or a corporate campus. Utility solutions, which is anything from utility line clearance for one of our utility client partners like First Energy or Pacific Gas and Electric, to utility asset management, which is helping build out 5G, which has nothing to do with trees. But that's kind of the way we've been following the innovation in the organization, as there is a client need and we kind of provide solutions for that client. Utility vegetation management, which is more on the planning and the preparation side, the training side for utility. And then Davey Resource Group. So Davey Resource Group is our consulting division, and they serve a little bit of everything. Homeowners, commercial properties, utility companies, you name it. Davey Resource Group has a solution. So as we looked at what the company was focused on, maybe in 2017, we pulled together a team assisted by Smith Group that actually helped us vision what that 190 acres, which is now a little over 200 acres, could look like. And there was a master planning process with participation from a lot of different aspects of the company. And basically a wish list of what do you need for training? What do we need to attract the next generation of workforce? What do we need to prepare for the Davey of the future? And we did this in concert with our Vision 2030. So there was a 10-year plan that was put in place for development of this campus, and for a variety of reasons that was accelerated. And we appreciate both Smith Group and the Rulin Company who helped us do that project a lot quicker, in addition to our in-house teams. And so one of the benefits of being able to accelerate this campus development was that the Davey company has wetlands scientists. We have landscape contract. We have landscape designers. We have landscape maintenance professionals. We have golf course superintendents. We have drone pilots, and we have tree care, certified arborists. And so as we were looking at developing this golf course that had been taken out of service and how we were turning it into this future campus that was going to reflect the future of the company. So one of the things we did was an employee contest. So many have asked us, what does SEED stand for? Well, SEED was an employee contest submission, which stands for Science, Employee Engagement, and Development. And as we looked at the campus, it's not only a building, which you can see part of here. Thank you, Jen, for putting that in the chat. I'd encourage you to take a look at the link that Jen sent you on the SEED campus, but also take a look at our SEED Scoop blog, which contains great stories behind the scenes about what's happening over at this campus. You might have seen some of us recently on Cranes or Kicking It with Kenny, and Betsy Kling will be out in sometime within the next 2 weeks. So we're very excited about the sustainability aspects of the SEED campus. We're seeking LEED Gold, right, Chad? Nod your head. So this campus has a refurbished barn that we took apart and put back together. It has classrooms. It has 2 laboratories. It has a climbing center. It has 3 golf holes. It has a preserved wetland with a boardwalk. It has a canopy walk. It is really, there's nothing else like this in North America, and we're pretty proud of the commitment of the Davey organization to invest in this. And then from a community standpoint, one of the things that we're most excited about is the front 30 acres. So our front door of this property is going to be a public arboretum that is set up in beautiful garden rooms that can teach our neighboring students, that can teach our future generations of Davey employees and our current employees about pollinators and about a water feature garden and mature trees and Ohio native garden. And so it's just a spectacular example, I think, of how you had a property that was sitting vacant and then it was repurposed into something for future generations to enjoy. So that is really kind of a highlight of what's been going on at the Davey company from a greener future standpoint. I know I went through a lot pretty quickly there, so I appreciate Jen putting a few things in the chat for you to take a look at, but I wanted to allow some time for questions from you. So I think, Becky, that's where we are.
So Sandee, what a wow in terms of your conversation. I want to pick up where you left off, which is right there on that SEED campus. I've had the incredible opportunity to be out twice to visit it. Thank you for the guided tour. You mentioned a little bit about how the public is going to get access to your incredible space. Could you talk a little more about the timeline in terms of when and how you envision the regular folks, particularly your neighbors there in Kent, are going to be able to come take a look?
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't open that up till 2026 or 2027 for our neighbors because the parking area. So I started out talking about being a tree at Franklin Elementary School, and we did a swap with Kent City Schools. And the Franklin Elementary School, which was taken out of service, is now going to be part of the Arboretum. And then we gave them some land on our corporate side of the street. So bringing that full circle, I'll still be able to be a tree at the Franklin Elementary School, maybe in some kind of outdoor play. Didn't have a speaking part. Maybe there was a reason for that. But 2026 or 2027, and here's the reason why. The parking area will be in that area at Franklin School. And then also we're working with the City of Kent and ODOT on a better entrance to the City of Kent, and then also kind of aligning our corporate office, which is on the right side of the street, and then the SEED campus, which is on the left side of the street. So there's a citizen group that's working on a proposed solution with the City of Kent for a roundabout that'll connect the 2 campuses, and then that'll enable us to finish that front door. That said, next spring we are hosting the North American Tree Climbing Championship, and we hope all of our Northeast Ohio neighbors will come out and see what that's about. It's going to be in May of 2026, so that'll be a day for a preview even before we're open for people to take advantage of that. And then we are doing a number of visits right now. So we have hundreds of educational partners that are all levels of education. Many of those groups have been out with a field trip or a tour. We certainly have research partners that are visiting the campus to participate in some joint research with us. So we're trying to accelerate the need for that to open sooner, because we're very excited about it, and we want to be able to have people share in it as soon as possible. But the official word is 2027.
Fair enough. Well, I'm just going to keep saying yes every time you invite me. So thank you.
Yeah.
There's clearly an awful lot of pride around Davey Tree becoming an employee-owned business about 45 years ago. And it's clear that civic engagement, community giving back is built into the DNA of the company. I'm curious, as a leader who is responsible for large teams, as you bring in new people into the company, are you looking for people who bring a civic lens into the company? Do you teach them once they get there? How do you indoctrinate the new folks?
That's a great question, Becky. So one of the things I have the pleasure of having responsibility for is our Davey strategic plan, and leading the Davey strategic leadership team with our Vision 2030. And I think baked within that is our values. So stewardship is one of our values. Integrity is one of our values. So, if you are civic minded, you're a Davey fit. I think if you're not, then you're probably not. You're probably not a Davey fit. But when we look at employee ownership, I mean that really, every neighborhood that we work in, every community that we work in, our employees live and work in those neighborhoods, and we're very focused around giving back in those as well. So whether it's somebody who's volunteering to coach a team for a church group, for a PTO, or whatever that is, a sustainability initiative, every hour counts. And so our Davey Green leaders, we don't legislate what type organization people are participating in. We say whatever you're passionate about counts and contributes to supporting our efforts from a corporate responsibility standpoint.
Yeah, fabulous. You clearly have, I mean, we've barely scratched the surface on the work that you personally do and that your teams do. I'm curious, how do you balance the incredible lift that you have in your day job with what I know to be your incredibly robust civic life? How do you find that balance?
Well, I guess you could ask my teammates on the call, and they would say no balance.
I was going to
But
say, everybody on the screen who knows you is laughing at the question.
they're all laughing. Yeah. So, when I looked at different eras of my Davey career, being here 39 years now, I was focused on what was I doing in my last part of my Davey career. And the last part of my Davey career was committed to giving back. I guess I misjudged a little bit. I thought that I would be transitioning out, and I haven't really found that that's necessarily the case. I think the Seed Campus is something I'm certainly energetic and passionate about, and both from a promotional standpoint, a brand building standpoint, and some of the functions that are over there that are on my direct team. I think that's certainly kept me engaged. Certainly, I think I'm a full-time tour guide now.
Yeah.
But I think also I was always passionate about organizations that help mold me to what I am today, and I want to make sure that I give back to them. So whether that was Girl Scouts, or whether that was Women in Communications, or the Public Relations Society of America, or any of the organizations that I had previously been involved in my younger days. I think today I'm focused around making sure that I give back to them. Cleveland Leadership Center is a great example of that. I had I joked with you that I should have been looking at joining retired Cleveland instead of leadership Cleveland, but at the point I always want to be focused around continuing to learn, give back, stretch myself. And so jumped in the pool, and that was a wonderful experience. And I learned so much about Cleveland, and learned so much about the Cleveland Leadership Center. And so that joined my list of things I wanted to give back to. So I'm learning a little bit more. Let's spark that great session on energy is something that I've been trying to practice, just making sure I'm not using too much of it in one place. But I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I could answer the balance question as I'm winning there. But I think if you love what you do, you've got plenty of energy.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I think you got a long way to go, my friend. So whatever you do, you got a long way to go. I'm curious, we live in a time where vitriol and anger sometimes dominates the headlines and the newscasts. How do you see the role of business leaders in strengthening local communities over the next decade and beyond?
I think business leaders need to be really focused on giving back. And so, that's one of the things that we're really focused on here is, I'm not going to tell you what you should be involved in, but find something you care about and give it back, pay it forward. So I think that's a key thing. I mean, one of the things that we focused on, I think with a background in communication, we've always been about, we need to tell our own stories, and we need to tell our own stories more. And the Davey Company was pretty quiet with doing that for the longest time. I think There was a variety of reasons for that. But over time, I think we've stepped up our involvement in that. And we always talk about putting credits in the reputation bank. So, it's important for us to be sharing those good stories, sharing those like companies are people. And people have great stories. And so we want to amplify those stories for the benefit of the organization. And then we also want to create opportunities for people to find their place. And I think sometimes people find their place through their community involvement.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious, you mentioned some of the organizations that you were involved with earlier in your career. Was there a standout leader or two who really helped shape your vision of yourself as a leader, either in the business arena or in the community arena, or both?
Oh, there's been hundreds of those, Becky. But I think if I think back to when I was at Ohio Northern, I was fortunate to be taken under the wing by the director of public information, and she taught me. She just gave me an opportunity for so many hands-on moments in public information, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. Then I kind of realized I had this passion for business. So I always had a love for trees and nature. And when it came to the Davey company, I thought, well, I'm not going to stay here very long. I don't want to live in Kent. I want to live in Columbus. I was totally wrong. I love Northeast Ohio, love Kent, was born in Pittsburgh. So it's still close enough there to be able to go home. But I think that was a key piece. And then early on, I was working with our science team. So I have a deep appreciation for our scientists, all of our advanced degrees that support the Davey company on a research and science side. But there was no one else here on a communications and marketing side at the time. So I really leaned into and was blessed to be coached by a lot of women and women in communications who put me into projects for community projects, who provided advice when you didn't have it. And then I think, we've tried to pay that forward with interns. I mean, we've had a lot of interns here. They're always part of our DNA. They re-energize us because they teach us new things. They make us try to be sharp to make sure that we can keep up with them from a technology standpoint. And then I've had the fortune of working with 3 different Davey CEOs, and each one of them has taught me something different. And so I think you just learn from everybody every day. And that's just the important thing.
Yeah, I love it. My last question is a question around legacy. When you think about the legacy of civic leadership at Davey Tree and your own career, what do you hope will stand out most?
So one of the things I'm most committed to is I don't ask anybody to do anything that I won't do myself. And I think I was fortunate to always have had supportive parents who still to this day encourage me and never told me I couldn't do anything. And so I think part of that is challenging people to be their best and also supporting them along the way. And so I would hope my legacy here is that we've built some incredible teams that do incredible things together and give back in a meaningful way to the communities where we work and play.
Well said, Sandee. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please join me in thanking Sandee for this incredible conversation. So grateful for your partnership and your leadership and for saying yes to the boardroom of the Cleveland Leadership Center. So thank you.
You're welcome, Becky. Looking forward to it.